Hey everyone, it's Katrina from Katrina's World. I've had quite a few questions here lately on my blog of people asking me, how in the world did you start out to become an entrepreneur? I love being an entrepreneur. It's been something that I've wanted to do since I was a young child. When I was little, I was that kid who was trying to sell cookies for a living. I still lived with my parents, but I was that kid who was like, oh, okay, what can I do to make money? And I wasn't too great at mowing lawns. That wasn't something I wanted to do. In fact, I've never actually mowed a lawn, but that's another story. But I loved to be in my kitchen. I liked to cook a lot with my mom. She taught me a lot about cooking, and so we started a little cookie business, and we started making all sorts of cookies for the neighbors. We did that for a while, and a couple of years later, I got really into babysitting. That was a great way to make money, and even around the same time, I decided, gosh, I could clean people's houses and make money, and I had a few people that wanted me to clean their house. That was all when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old, and the bug to be an entrepreneur and own my own business has always been something that I wanted to do. Even when I went into high school, our school had a school store, and I went to a very brand new high school. I was actually the second class that graduated from that school, and I got really involved in all the business classes there, and I've always been kind of artsy, but I've always had this bent towards business, and in high school I got involved in FBLA, which is Future Business Leaders of America. I was very involved in that. I ended up being the president of it for, a year or two, and then I also got involved in DECA, and if you ask me what DECA actually stands for, I do not remember, but DECA we just called it the marketing club. I really do not remember what it stands for, but I was the president of DECA as well for at least a year, but I competed in competitions with both of those all over. I made it to nationals with FBLA and got to go to Disney World for a week when I was in high school, which was awesome. I didn't win by any means. I think I placed like 8th or something. But I learned a lot about business, and I realized in high school that business was something that it was naturally a talent that God had given me, and I knew that I was going to own my own business someday. In fact, I think when I graduated, I wish I could remember exactly, but I was voted most likely to own my own business someday. I think I was voted something else. I don't remember what it was, though. Anyways, but I was voted most likely to own my own business, and that has just been something that I always wanted to do. And thankfully, as I went off to college and got my degree, I didn't get my degree in business, which I still kind of regret right now. I still feel like I should have got a business degree. I actually got an art degree. I got a bachelor's degree in graphic design, and I remember when I was at school, the first couple of weeks of college, I was trying to decide what I wanted to major in. And I really wanted to double major in business and in graphic design, and for whatever reason I felt like I was supposed to do graphic design, and they tried to steer me away from having a double major. I kind of regret it now, but regardless, business is just something that's always been a part of how God made me. And when I met my husband, Cassidy, he's an entrepreneur at heart. That man is such a visionary. He has these great ideas, and I like to be the little feet that starts getting those ideas done, and we make a really good team. So, which obviously God knew. God prepared that man for me, and I suppose me for him, all growing up, and we make a great team when it comes to just business. When I remember very distinctly on our honeymoon, rather than being cute and lovey-dovey, which we were, don't get me wrong, we sat at this steak place that I don't even remember how we found it, but there was some steak place that we were at, and we sat and we started dreaming up our first business, and I still have the napkin that I wrote all my notes on of what our first business was going to be, and we came up with the name, the ideas, and we were like raring to go to get our business started. And that same year we started our very first graphic and web design company, and my husband is a computer programmer, and so me with my graphic design degree that I had just got the paper for, we decided that we needed to have a graphic and web design company, which we started right away. We both were working full time. We did not have any kids, and we decided, gosh, let's start doing web design on the side, and we did. And the cool thing about that is, I think it took about 4 to 5 years of us kind of dabbling in having, doing our business on the side for it to turn into a full-time job for both of us, in fact. We went through a move. We moved from Arizona back to Denver, Colorado, which is where we live now. And during that time, my husband had been working part-time for a computer development company in Arizona, and he decided to tell his boss, or to ask his boss, if he could work from home and we could move to Colorado. And I was ready for a change from the job that I had where I was doing graphic design, and so we moved back to Denver to be near family. And when we moved, he decided he would give it, the plan was that he would work his existing job full time, which they let him work remotely, which was really great. And we were slowly trying to pull away from his full-time job and be working our business full-time. And so when we first got to Denver, I joined a chamber of commerce where we lived and hit the ground running with our business. I was telling everybody about it. And it took about 2 years, a year and a half, for him he went part-time after about a year with his company, because our business was making money. And a good year into it, year and a half into living here, he quit his full-time job with that computer development company, and we went full-time with our business. And we worked a lot, but our business did great. We didn't have any kids, so we both got to work, 40 hours plus a week. Actually, it was a lot more than 40 hours a week. But we did a really good job, and we actually made some of the most money that we've ever made in our married life those first couple years that we did our business, which was really cool. I look back at it now and say, yeah, I absolutely was able to, pay myself. I wasn't working and not getting paid. We paid ourselves, and we paid ourselves well. But the price that we paid for having our own business was our time. Being the business owners, our business functioned solely on us. We didn't have a whole lot of spare time to really do anything. We worked a lot on the weekends. We worked at night. We had deadlines. We had we were able to make as much money as we wanted by working as much as we wanted, which it wasn't as much as we wanted, but we definitely worked a lot. So through that business, which we currently do not have anymore, because I wanted to have kids, and when we started having kids, it made it a lot harder for me to focus, 40 hours a week on my job, working our business. And after our third child was born, about 7 years into our business, I finally looked at my husband and I said, Cass, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to keep working as much as I am. I want to be a full-time mom. And so we learned that we needed to figure out a way for me to still keep working, but be able to spend time with the kids and not be working as much as I was with that business. I was the lead designer. I designed stuff all day long, and while it was fun, it was a lot of time, and I really wanted to spend time with our kids. So we now have learned that being an entrepreneur is awesome. We have since closed that graphic and web design company. We just kind of decided, one of our children, our oldest son, has some health problems, and his health problems made his insurance very expensive. And a couple years ago, when government stuff changed and insurance stuff changed, our prices for having self-employment insurance just went through the roof. And I was ready to just have a break from working, just to hang out with our kids and be mom. And so we decided that it was time to close down that business, and that my husband was going to go back and start doing, web development and coding for a company, and start working for somebody again, more just to get the health insurance. And so he has since gone back and is now working for a great company. He enjoys working there, but obviously he's not the boss. He is working for somebody and getting a paycheck. And I knew it would just be a matter of time before we both decided, okay, we need to get our lives back, get our time back, and start working for ourselves again. And so our kids have gotten a little bit older. We have currently right now we have a 9, 6, and 3-year-old, and so the 2 older ones will be in school full time starting here in a couple weeks. I can't believe it. But our kids are getting older, and as our youngest son, when he finally starts school in 2 years, I do plan to be working for myself full time, and our hope is that my husband can come back home. We have since started another business that we're working on the side, and we're slowly growing it so that in the next couple of years he's able to come back home. So being an entrepreneur is awesome. That's kind of the journey that I've gone through to being an entrepreneur. I love it. It's something that's just, it's in my veins. It's the way God made me. I'm bent towards being an entrepreneur. And if it's something that you're at all, interested in, you can do it. And there's plenty of ways to go about starting a business, especially on the side. If you're a mom, it's easy to, start doing some things now that you work at a couple hours every single day, and eventually you can build yourself, a very big business, a very lucrative business. My goal now is to work less but work smarter, and make more of an impact with the things that I do. So anyways, I hope that gives you a little bit of idea of how I became an entrepreneur, and I'd love to share any more tips or help with any questions that you might have. So subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel here, and make sure you also check out my Katrina's World Facebook page, which is Mom Katrina's World, and check out, and you can keep up with all the things that I've got going on. Talk to you soon. Bye.